How does this exercise help a runner? Hey, it's JP, and this is a question that constantly goes through my mind when creating a training routine. I believe it is key to understand why you do an exercise. If not, how can you tailor an exercise routine based on that specific individual's needs? So in this video, I will give some insight on certain exercises and why it may be relevant to running. Today, let's start with the exercise known as the bird dog. People typically think about this as a core stabilization exercise and do it to further supplement his or her training. While this is not necessarily a bad thing, sometimes it's good to dig a little deeper on its relevance. So now, I'll share some of my insight. When typically incorporating this exercise, my primary intention is more to work on control and coordination of the muscles around the lumbopelvic hip complex, which is a fancy term for muscles in the core, trunk, and pelvic region. These muscles play some key roles, especially to control the pelvis in the mid-stance phase and prevent excessive movement of the area. By improving control in the area, this may help optimize force produced from the legs. Now, as I just alluded to, my focus is usually not on strength. I just think that there are better options to truly work on strength in this area. The next question you may ask yourself is, how may this be beneficial to a runner, especially if strength is not the focus? Based on some recent running focused research, it introduces the idea that running may be considered more as a skill. With this in mind, improving coordination of the muscles that typically work together as you run may help further improve your technique and overall performance. Now, since we just went over some rationale on utilizing the bird dog, I figured I'd talk about the bird dog as well as some variations of it. The first thing I will go over is the bird dog itself. I'll be brief since I just went through my primary intentions for incorporating this exercise. I guess the thing I will go over here is relevant cues to remember when doing this. The most important one is to pretend like you are bouncing plates on your lower back. This helps improve engagement and control of the muscles around the core and trunk, as well as the hip and pelvic region, which is typically my intention. Another thing to remember is to try to get your shoulders and hips fully extended, as this really challenges the lumbopelvic hip region. If this is tough, you can try a regression, which I will go over next. The second exercise we will go over is donkey toes. This is a decent option to decrease difficulty of the exercise if you had some trouble with the standard bird dog. Shout out to Dejashari for this one. Now if you guys know your exercises, this almost looks like the donkey kicks, which is the standard regression of the bird dog. This is similar since you only really use your legs, but with a bit of a twist. Here, you notice that with this exercise you are on the toes. This works on a number of things that is relevant to a runner. Being on the toes may help with big toe mobility, which is important to have as you push off the ground. Another is that it incorporates engagement of the quads, which is another relevant muscle as a runner. Now, since we went with a regression, let's go over a fun progression of the bird dog. This is known as the loaded bird dog. This one is similar to the bird dog, but instead of extending the shoulder like so, you incorporate a weight and perform a row on that side instead. This progression requires increased demands from the upper back. This shifts focus toward control and coordination of the trunk or torso region. This may be something to consider if you want to work more on trunk posture. Anyway, I hope my little rant helped you understand the relevance of the bird dog and whether or not it addresses your needs as a runner. I'd love to hear your thoughts and if I should continue to make these kind of videos each week. And as always, thank you for watching.